So the text that we have on the meme for my myth or fable of Sinister Tales by Temple of Blood meme is the detached unveiling will be by dedication. Future agendas are hidden within difficult references. Some are chosen to be in groups and others are chosen to be used by groups. Music hides messages and effects. Others may enact your will. The price you pay is your connection. And we have the pillars of the polar hates. To the Christianized mind, Mapthus are purpose-driven or meaningful narrative has been maligned into something false. 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 16 clearly distinguishes between ses of east menois are well-invented fables and a myth, but 1 Timothy chapter 1 verse 4 and chapter 4 verse 7, 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 4, and Titus chapter 1 verse 14 started this perversion upon reality that meaning and purpose don't matter if it is a different path, and that believing and obeying how they tell you to is the importance to focus on. Let's move past those constraints to the 9 or 7 parts of the book to make our own judgments and use of what is at hand here. 3 snakes on the right can be the active duties, and the 3 snakes on the left can be the passive duties. Out of the shoulder area, in the middle, we are reminded of Asa Dahaka. Get up, burn, get stinging. The skull face makes us think about how he was chosen for attempts to depopulate and other sinister violations. Shown in the way, the skull has a sinister looking grin. Atop his head can be said to be how he was struck as part of being subdued, and there was fear that the snakes and such that arose might spread abroad. So he was restrained to survive towards the end time. The shield with the J is how he continued Jamshid's kingdom, but at the end, he will try to establish the kingdom of Ashma Dava. The cover with the woman bare before the 3 congregates in a church, like scene, can be as how we will be brought towards such an age of the Antichrist. Exposure will distract from the messages in the art and the preparations for the harsh things that need to be done and will otherwise occur. When we survive something, we carry that with us, and even austere positions don't erase our inner drives. The hermit did as Iblis was given permission to, according to Al-Quran, Surah 17, ayat 64. His voice misled a young woman who was drawn in by music. A hermit's confessions is dated to indicate a date older than what most believe Temple of Blood to be, August 31st, 2002. And that would indicate the involvement of a certain federal agent was not the origin of Temple of Blood. Now, I've been told by another person, I think it was 1996, was the former founding. Solvet Saclem in Favila is a title that harkens to the Diabolos, the Order of Nine Angles version of the first 3 of 19 parts in Dies Ira, from the Requiem Mass of the Roman Rite from the 1200s of the Common Era. The full version would mean day of wrath, that day will dissolve the world in ashes. Satan and the oracle reader will be witnesses. How great will be the shaking when the victor descends, whose investigation is of all. Day of wrath, that day is the opening of the stars to bud forth with a cause of animating energy, and the sickle bearing dies ira, solvet saclem in favila, testa Satan cum sedila, quantas tremores futuras, quando vindex es venturas, puncta stricta discussuras, dies ira, aperiatur stella, et germinet atazop, ad falcifer. Our home is what we make of it, and trying to escape can leave us trapped elsewhere. There are those who outwardly fight racial or other oppression, but encode ways to stir up the crime that is reacted upon in a way that results in more claims of oppression. Around Vail Pass, Colorado, the star with the energy from Venus to Mars exposes the violet flame. Baphomet becomes as a queen of swords for them. These light workers victimize themselves ultimately. Our power source passed through all this and prepared us for orders that work as groups with the 11 parts of art. The Sapphic is beyond lesbianism and feminism. It is the love of the feminine side and regarding the heroes thereof. Some of each gender will be used and others will use. By the dies ira, the rune stave of the Temple of Blood, in gray, and Sanctus being Sanctus Satanas Sanctus Dominus Diabolos Sabaoth Satanas Venir Satanas Venir Ave Satanas Tue sunt Kali Tua est terra Ave Satanas. Holy Satan sanctified, dominion of the devil over hosts, Satan issued. An order Satan summoned. Welcome, Satan. Farewell, Satan. Yours are the heavens, yours is earth, good wishes of Satan. I don't know the tune that's supposed to be. That's the chant. And the knocking for the prospering of good fortune between the knocks for dark energy, 333 on each side with 88 in the middle. The unconscious impetus of the opposite gender is confronted. Some don't survive the third degree. When the whitewashed conservatives fall, those of more ancient ways than vicarious faiths will use the remnants to thrive and build anew. Azanagan, A Tale of the Blood, is in 3 parts: Dark Night of the Soul, The Devil's Highway, and a clandestine burning. The next major stage of culling will be beyond gender, as humanity paves the way for the return to what it was like before humanity restricted the free reign of demons. Now this they have wanted mere educational success and to run experiments, but their outer success has left an inner emptiness. Regardless of the type of order, they want us to be conservative and unaware of our direct place in the universe. What runs through us before will find us later. Remember, those of the stage of concrete operational stage of life may not have independent morality or free will in a manner or matter. So it is enough for them to be exposed to the teachings. Those of the former operational stage do, and it will be for them to act before the former, or the continuance of the sensora emotor stage, as these united east and west in a pre-operational stage of enactment. From the moon to Saturn is our fortune amid war, pestilence, and death. The scapegoat is made. The call for socialism, communism, and such will drown out the real causes and prevent justice for that. Senseless hate breeds senseless hate. We sit aside and direct things by our alchemical fire with chance. We step aside from the Judeo-Christianized forms of the neo-heathen and pagan. The old ways are beyond romanticism and merely structural reconstructions of ancient ways. Beyond the black and white, we are in the shades with connections beyond definitions. Mercury to Saturn tears down the tower for us to become a master. Knight of Satan tells us there is more to life than manipulation of people who are just the stuffed shirts of popular culture. There is more to alternative spirituality than basic readings of texts will show. Our zeal can make the idea of an internet study group a more in-person reality. One may think one is to be the teacher, but in that case, there may be those to teach you about more than your magical vulnerabilities. Music reaches us deeper when structured for effect and meaning than just berating oneself with it. One should show that one is not a rebel without a cause, or one will not be ready for the soma, much less a shocking treatment, beyond the realization that a larger victory makes the winning more pleasant is the unknown future that comes from the brutal costs. A long reach is as a sequel to the previous story. Some will interpret it as a prequel. I think it has more effect as a sequel. It reminds us that the elite are not necessarily of better character. The strenuous will both increase the function and attraction of our physical form, usual vices, open to something more insidiously infectious. It may start with books, crystals, and symbols. Exedi, Batori, Erzsébet, Vlad Tepes, and others might be regarded as saints for the aspiring vampire. The blood of oneself and others is connected on other than a physical plane. Some of these are vampiric or other things that they are not aware of. When the consequences get societal, one needs to be prepared to include the possible situations as part of that relationship between the causal and acausal. Be many things to many people and groups, but never let them get you to submit either your mental side or your spiritual being to them in your ever progressing the ranks beyond titles and organizations. Yasoda Lila reminds us that Hanuman is in the sociopathic nature of a child. Our devotion is seen, but we transcend even the liberal constraints in our dark devotion. Between the existences, we bring about or prepare the incarnation of the new year of the horrific age by identifying with our youthful side and continually manifesting by whom we trained to lead are the 10-day apotheosis. Taking something is representing the divine. In the results of our ritualizing even the most intimate areas of life. So, Were these 6 or 8 sinister tales by Temple of Blood stories with lessons? Are those with meaning and purpose beyond ideology? For me, they were both myths and fables.